Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome. It is another segment of Unapologetically Me. We have an awesome guest today. I cannot wait for you to meet him. I hope you guys are staying cool on the East Coast here. It is going up to 90 something. So me in this heat, we don't know. We don't vibe. My hair definitely doesn't vibe with this heat. So I'm hoping that all of you guys are staying cool. And remember, if you want to talk to Dr. Jones or myself, make sure you put the comments on our Unapologetically Me page so we can see them and answer you and let Dr. Jones know that he is welcome. So on that note, I want to bring into the studio, everyone, help me welcome Dr. Jones. Welcome, Dr. Jones.
Well, thank you so much. I'm really glad to be here. And it's always exciting to talk about education and careers and
Yes.
what's happening to make sure that our young people are at the best level of education possible.
Yes, yes. And I want to put my, as they say, put my readers on Dr. Jones, because I want to let people know who you are and the things that you do for our young people. So for those of you that do not know, Dr. Jones is the Associate Dean of Students in the College of Engineering at Villanova University. So he also, for 13 years, worked at Drexel University as the director of the Success Act one-on-one program. So Dr. Jones is also CEO of SAJ Publishing and Education Services. He has received numerous awards. Some of his awards included the Distinguished Toastmasters District Award winner, National Society of Black Engineers Award, Society for Hispanic Engineers Award, and Black Engineer of the Year Award. He is also the former president of the National Association of Multicultural Program Advocates, and also the Drexel University chapter of the National Society of Black Engineers named an award after him to acknowledge his dedications to students. The award is titled the Dr. Stephen Jones Award for Academic Excellence. Wow, I am so honored to have you on today. I mean, Dr. Jones, I have to credit you. First of all, we were talking a little bit before you came on, and I was saying, and I don't mind sharing with my audience, I was saying that, you know, it's wonderful to have a guest like you on my show to show young Black men and women, and just men and women in general, our youths that are coming up, that, you know, they can do other things if they don't want to own a business, if they don't want to be entrepreneurs. There are so many things out there in this world for them. So let us talk. I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to let you talk.
Okay. Great. So I just wanted to, I always try to make this relative. So I was just working with a group of young, potential graduates from high school. They were, a few days away from it. And I was talking about the importance of your community and connecting to your community as you're pursuing your education, because that's something that I've always done. I've always been concerned back in my community as I've achieved my education. But I said to them that I grew up in West Philadelphia in a place called Down the Bottom, where there was a lot of kind of gang wars, and there were low income families that lived in that community. And I never knew that in living in that community that I would work at a university, that I would obtain several degrees. So I say to the young people that are listening, and even those who are adults and seasoned, you're never at an end. You're always in a place of opportunity. And each day is that opportunity to change your direction, to change what you're experiencing, and to change what you're thinking. And that's what the approach that I've taken throughout my career is, how can I take that information, the things that I've learned, share it with someone else so they can grow and have a successful career as well.
That is so awesome, and education is so important. Young people don't realize that, no matter what you go after, no matter what you pursue, the days of, I can't get this job or I can't do this because of my skin color, those are gone. Those are gone. As long as you have the education, no one can take that from you. And I remember I was mainline health, the health system, Bryn Mawr Hospital. I was their first person of color that was in middle management. So you can imagine that, imagine going into a room with 35 middle management people and no one looked like me. There wasn't an Asian, there wasn't a Philippine, there was a Hispanic, there wasn't an African American. I was the only one. But what they couldn't take from me was my education. They could not take that from me. And I came in there knowing what it is that I had to do. So tell us, Dr. Jones, you have written a couple of books. You have been awarded with so many different awards. And now you're at Villanova University. Engineering, that's not a hard, that's very hard. That's not an easy subject. So tell us, how did you get into that? And what made you decide to take on that task?
Right. It's really interesting. When I was in college, one of my goals was to come back to the community and start a community center that would help young people to advance in their education, that expose them to different types of careers. And when I graduated from Howard University, I was offered an opportunity to work on a college campus. I never thought of the college campus as a place to work. But I got the opportunity to work with first generation, low income students who did not have anyone in their families who had gone to college, and gave them, through this Act 101 program that was mentioned, support to enable them to graduate. And we actually graduated them at a higher rate than the university was itself, because we gave them intensive care. And it just let me know that they're students who have the abilities, and the SAT can be a barrier to their potential for success. So the Act 101 program gave them the opportunity. I ran the program at Philadelphia University, then I moved over to Drexel for 13 years. We graduated the most minority engineers in the area. And I was able to do that because I was teaching them study skills. I was giving them the study habits and the strategies for success in the classroom, knowing that their schools may not have given them everything. And so the first book that I wrote was titled 7 Secrets of How to Study, to address that issue of study habits.
Wow. Yeah. You know what? I always ask my guests, and I forgot to ask you, but now I just remembered. How did you and I meet? Let me see if you remember.
Let's see, because I'm in so many Zoom sessions.
You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You reached out. I believe in networking with people while I'm in the Zoom session.
There you go.
And I follow up with them.
Exactly. You reached out to me when I did a training for Temple. That's how you and I connected. And you had came to one of the trainings I was doing. I don't remember if it was getting yourself out there in front of a pandemic, or if it was the digital marketing, but I think it was
marketing. It was
the digital marketing. Yes. Okay, great. So I was kind of honored, first of all, because you told me you enjoyed the training. And I was kind of honored for you to reach out to me, especially because, you work in a university. So, you never start learning. You never give up that hope that there isn't something always to learn new. And plus, not only that, but you always want to keep yourself fresh. You want to keep yourself present, and you want to keep yourself in the know. But you were saying something, or I might have read it in your bio, K-9 program. You were involved in a K-9 program dealing with students. Am I saying that right, or is it wrong?
Oh, it's I have, they're called STEM programs. So these are for large, 8th graders through 12th graders, where I actually have students come on campus for 7 Saturdays during the spring. The application usually comes out in the fall, September or October, and they apply, and we interview them, and we accept around 15 new students every year. And we have 50 students, largely from Philadelphia. We have a few from New Jersey and a few from Delaware that come up for the program from 8:30 to 2:30 on those 7 Saturdays. So we're actually trying to get them in those years where we know they need to have enough math and science and engineering exposure to come into this major. Only 5% of all engineers that graduate in the United States are African American. Wow. So we have a lot of work to do, because all the careers are going in a technical direction. Even if you're working in finance, there's technology in that, or you're working in insurance, there's technology in all these industries are relying on their technology. And so the more that we can get young people prepared in that direction, the more opportunities and doors that will open for them.
Wow, that's amazing. And you are so right. Even in the world of entrepreneurship, when you're looking to do business with maybe the government, or you're looking to do business with the city and state, a lot of things that they're looking for are those technical positions. So
Mhm.
that is so true. And like I said, engineering is hard. So now let's go back a little bit. So you were also at Drexel for a while. So
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about that experience there.
Yeah, so Drexel was a wonderful experience. In fact, I was just talking to two alumni this past weekend. I now have some of my former Drexel students
Mhm.
bringing me their children as accepted to Villanova University. So that lets you know how long I've been in it.
Wow.
But it's been exciting to see those students who would come in again through our Act 101 program. We provided them kind of like a home away from home,
Mhm.
tutoring, advising, and counseling, trying to make sure they had enough financial aid. That's always an issue that students face. Is sometimes they can get enough financial aid for the first year, and then
Right.
there's not enough after that. And so my goal is to ensure that they have the finances and the support, tutoring, and that they know how to interact with the institution of higher ed to get what they want, to get what they need to be successful. And that's been an inspiration because I get to see generation after generation moving forward and achieving because of the doors I've been blessed to open for them.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I also want to talk about you wrote a couple of books. Actually, you're the author of 3 books, and if I remember correctly, one of them is The 7 Secrets of How to Study.
Mhm.
Another one is The Parent's Ultimate Education Guide, and I believe the last one is The Ultimate Scholarship Guide. So, tell us a little bit about that and what made you basically want to write about those subjects.
Well, the programs that I've run, both at Philadelphia University, Drexel, and Villanova, I realized that a lot of students didn't have study skills when they came to college because most classes, they just teach you their subject, whether it's math or whether it's history or psychology. Even in high school, that's all they're teaching is the subject, but not how to study that subject. And I saw so many students coming to college not knowing how to study, how to manage their time, how to be organized, and how to plan. And we used our own study skills book as part of my summer program, a summer bridge program. I said, I'm going to write my own book. And that's what I did. I said, I'm going to start writing this because I want something that would really be helpful and interactive for the students. And I have school districts all over the country that use this, community groups, church groups that are trying to just help their children do better in school. And then the parents asked me to start if I would write a book for them. So I decided I would write a book. Basically, the parents' book is K through 12th grade. How do I help my child to exceed? Every chapter succeed. Every chapter has a parent that shares what they did to help them be successful. And as far as the study skills book, every chapter has a student that shares what helped them to be successful and
Mhm.
achieving A+ grades. And then I wrote the scholarship book because everybody was asking, how do I pay for college? And
Right.
it can be anywhere between 25 and 50, $75,000 a year. So there's a
Wow.
tremendous need. But the challenge is $90 billion of scholar. Half of that goes back. So about $45 billion goes unused.
Wow.
So I wrote this book. Actually, I have 2 other books that I've written. One
Mhm.
is titled 7 Secrets of How to Study the Bible, and
Mhm.
the other is the 10 Keys to a Successful Marriage. That was my latest book. And I'm working on the new book, which is on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm going to do that book with my daughter, who's working on her PhD
Mhm.
in computer science. So I'm excited about that.
Wow, you should be excited, especially working with your daughter. Where do you find the time to do all of this? I'm listening to you and I'm exhausted just listening to everything that you're doing. So where do you even find the time to do all of this?
Well, it's when you're really passionate about something, it's not like
Mhm.
work. It's a joy, and you're seeing the outcomes of it.
Right.
So every week, I'm mapping out how I'm going to make all these things happen, how I'm going to encourage somebody, how I'm going to share a resource with someone, and it's really been a little bit better because of going online to do a lot of things,
Right.
and I'm not having to travel to as many places to get the same amount of work done or to
Mhm.
help students or to train students or to train teachers or parents. I can do that in a Zoom environment. So
Right.
helping a lot.
I know. I love it. I love it. I was talking to my husband because my organization, which is the Philadelphia Women's Network Connection, we're a whole host of women businesses. I think we have like about 1,200 in our community right now. And I told him, I said, even though we're here in Philadelphia, due to the COVID, we have went global. So now PWNC, yes, I know, right? A little over 3 years, hey, I'm very spiritual and it's just a blessing. It is just a blessing.
Yes, it is.
So it's so funny because I told my husband, the first year, of course, when you're building your brand, you're running all over the place. You want people to know you, you're networking, you're getting yourself out there, you're not being paid, you're giving up everything for free, for people to know you. But I was running so much, and my husband works for Mainline Health. That's how we met. Yeah. So and it's funny because he does IT.
Okay.
Mainline Health. So, we were running. So he would get home around about 7 in the evening, and I was leaving to go to a networking event. The Uber was like my best friend. So, I was just running. So when the COVID came, and I always tell people the COVID was God's timeout for the world. So I hope that people learned the lesson that whole year and a half that we had off. So that whole year and a half, I learned how to pivot and run my business from the comfort of my home. I built my business bigger on being online and at home than I was when I was out here running around. So I told my husband, I said, yes, now I'm going to be doing things differently. My whole model for my business has changed completely as far as, how I'm going to run it. And I think that's the idea for everybody now, because now they see, even with my husband, they were working 5 days a week. Now he's only going to be going into the hospital 2 days a week and 3 days from home. Yeah. So, so people are starting to see, modern technology is a wonderful thing and it's not going anywhere. It's definitely not going anywhere. And I know you can relate to that. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's so exciting to see how it's influenced everything. And it's pushed us out of our comfort zone. Yes. A lot of us were doing things a certain way and just the way it's always going to be done. So we had to get out of our comfort zone. And it's actually given us a different vision of who we can serve, how we can meet their needs. It's opened up, again, on the spiritual side, I'm in ministry. So on Sundays and different weeks, I can get ministered to all week long because everyone's online.
Right, exactly.
You can connect with people and help them there as well. But I really, one of the things that I'm always concerned about right now is what's called learning loss. And a lot of students, because of the COVID experience, have lost a lot of their learning opportunity.
Right.
And one of the things I'm concerned about is study skills and study habits. And I'm hoping that those who are listening will consider getting my book so they can work on their children's study habits this summer. It's targeted to middle school and high school students. There's the parents' book as well, but it'll provide you with something that they can actually have in their hands. And they should read through it a couple of times and get some tips and ideas, because school is going to be school when they go back.
Right.
And I want them to be equipped to be successful students and make sure that they use this summer as a learning opportunity. And I say every summer is an opportunity to really enhance what you picked up during the school year. Right. A lot of times students will let go of what they forget. And it's called the summer of learning loss. We don't want that to happen. We want them to maximize their learning in preparation for the fall semester so they can be successful, whether they're going to their elementary school, middle school, high school, or if you're going to college. We want you to be prepared and have the habits that will help you to be successful.
Yeah, I completely agree. I remember my husband said to me, I read a lot of self-help books because I think as a leader, as someone that is working with other people, is so important for you to examine yourself and see, try to see yourself through other people's eyes. You can't be everything for everybody. So you can only be the best version of yourself. So I don't mind continuously working on myself. And also I remind my husband, I'm like, remind me to stay humble in my mission. If you ever see me getting to a level where, you know what I'm trying to say,
Yeah, I understand.
big headed or whatever,
Right.
let me know so you can bring me back. Because I always tell people, we're not here for ourselves. We're here to serve others. We are here to serve others and to give back. And that's the most important thing. And to reach back and bring those that are behind us forward, or even much more advanced than where we are. And that's all. That was the mission of PWNC, was to help not only the women grow their business, but get them to the levels where they're further than I am, to know that the best thing, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Dr. Jones, the best thing is when someone comes back to you and said, it was because of you that my life changed. So I want you to share a story, maybe that one of your students might have came back to you that really affected you and let you know that you were walking in your purpose.
Yes. Well, I talked to a student, it was last year, because I just like to catch up with them, like what they're doing, what they're accomplishing. And she was about to be put out of the university because she didn't have enough finances. And, she came to me, and I was able to, work with our financial aid office. We found a scholarship that gave her the rest of whatever she owed for the next 3-4 years.
Wow.
Everything was paid.
Wow.
And she just wanted to give me, thank me for investing in her. And she's now an executive and doing well in the industry. And you're planting those seeds because you realize that they have these challenges. They may be gifted and talented, but the financial aspect of it becomes a barrier for them. So that was really exciting to see that she was able to get through. Sometimes students I haven't seen in 10, 15 years, I suddenly appear, especially with Facebook.
Right.
And they're able to say thank you for the time that you share, for the counsel that you gave, for the patience that for traveling with us and taking us to conferences and hanging out with them. And I still continue to do that today. I still continue to be in the lives of my students, even when they're on campus or off campus. They know that I support them in whatever they're trying to accomplish.
Right. And wow, Diane said the learning loss for students has been major. Mentoring a young lady, the Holy Spirit had me counsel her through her concern of the loss. I told her she is not the only one who lost this year. Students around the world are all in the same boat, and all students will be starting at the same restart position. Stay encouraged. Truly, they are not alone. That is so true, Diane. That is so true.
Amen.
Yeah. It's just, I always say people just want you to acknowledge them and to let you know that you see them. They want to be validated. They want to know that they're important. And if anybody knows anything about Villanova University, if you don't Google it, it's not a cheap university.
No.
So it's not cheap by no means. So for her to be able to get that scholarship, for her to continue her studies, that's awesome. And like you said, there are so many people out here that are talented, that have gifts. They just need that opportunity. They need that chance. They need the investment. And, our young people, they're our future. We have to invest in them. We have to. So just share with us the importance of education and why it's so important for our young people that are coming up now, for them to make sure that that is something that is secured.
So one of the things that I always say is education determines occupation, and occupation determines income. We want to position people, whether they're young and trying to make the decision, or even an adult learner that wants to make that decision to go back, that they economically can have a different life. And education provides that opportunity, whether you want to go to college, to a trade school. We have students who work in different fields of medicine, but maybe they have a 2-year program that they're involved in training in that, in technology, robotics. There's some training programs with that. So just exploring all of the options, I think, is the key. And believing that you can accomplish and graduate from these programs and taking advantage of the support that's in place. One of the things I will just share real quickly is a lot of my students, especially the first year students coming in, they won't go to tutoring because they're prideful about the fact that they were the top 10 in their class and they shouldn't need tutoring.
Mhm.
All the students who are earning A's and B's in college, they're going for tutoring. So I
Yeah.
want to encourage every student that's listening to not allow your pride to get in the way of you going to get the tools and equipment to be a successful student.
You are so right. I remember when I was going to nursing school at Gwyneth Mercy University, shout out to them. And I tell everybody, I'm like, listen, there was these young people, if they weren't getting A's, they were crying. And I'm like, listen, C's gets degrees. And when you go into a patient's hospital room, they don't care if you're an A, B, C student. The only thing they care about is, can you take care of me? That's all they want to know about. And you're right. You have these, they get so caught up in the grade instead of the help that they may need. I mean, nursing school was no joke. I'm sure engineering was, but no, I tell anybody, if you're thinking about nursing school, think long and hard, because nursing school, I got high blood pressure going to nursing school because it was that intense. But but like I said, I come from a background of over 25 years in the medical field. I love what I did, but I knew that that wasn't my calling. I knew that one day that I was going to be a full-time entrepreneur, and that this whole venture was going to become something bigger than me, because it was a vision that I had to start this. And I just wanted to start something where, as the women can come, we have fun, we fellowship, we have a speaker, we talk. It has grown so much bigger than that, Dr. Jones. And I'm like, Lord, this is my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. But as we're going to be wrapping up shortly, because I told you it's like 27 minutes already. I know. So is there anything that you want to talk about that maybe we did not talk about?
Sure. So, I'm really available to schools and school districts to be helpful there. Of course, I'm encouraging them in STEM. And I did fail to mention that we have a summer program here at Villanova University called Nova Edge. It's a 1-week on-campus experience, and it's already full. But next summer, I would love for everybody to apply for that program. And then, really, if you're a school district, you might have Title I funds for the various books that I have, or if you need workshops or webinars, I'm willing and open to doing that as well. But like I said, education is the future. As we've been talking about, we need to get all of our students educated at the highest level possible so they can achieve greater and greater things and have different types of exposures in their life too. So keep continuing to push that, keep continuing to help them to achieve over this summer and get ready to go back. And also ask the schools that your children are attending, are there reading lists, book lists that you can have access to so that your children will be reading throughout the summer? Reading affects all subjects, math, physics, whatever subject you're in. The better the reading skill and comprehension, the better you'll do overall. So thank you so much for inviting me out today. I really have enjoyed this.
Yes, me too. And like I said, I love to have different guests on to talk to, my viewers, because it's so important. And I don't want them to think that this is a show only about entrepreneurs, only about small business people. I want this to be a show where people can relate, they can get great information. People like yourself can come on. You're the first dean that we have had of a university on the show. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited about that. And I hope that in the future, down the road, that you'll be able to come back on the show. I would love to have you back.
Absolutely. I would love to be back.
Wonderful. I would love to hear what it is that you're doing. I would love to know, more about the books that you're going to be writing and everything. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put your website up there now.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So for those of you who want to get in contact with Dr. Jones, see more of what it is that he's doing, what he's doing at the university, even in the ministry, make sure that you reach out to them. So Dr. Jones, besides your website there, how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can email me at stephenjones@rcn.com. That's stephenjoness@rcn.com. I'm also on Instagram at ed_, Central. I'm sorry. It's a new label, ed_Central. And also I'm on Facebook, Dr. Stephen Jones. And I have a college readiness and college prep site there on that channel as well as Facebook as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, like again, I am so glad that you were able to come on. I'm going to make a couple announcements and then I'll be back to you to say goodbye.
Right.
Okay, everyone, I want to make sure that you guys know what's going on in PWNC Foundation, which is our nonprofit organization. I will be having an event for Temple, again, a training on Thursday, June 17th. That's around lunchtime, 1:30 to 2:30. And I will be talking about how to find your target market. So even if you're in business or not in business, you're thinking about going into business, finding your target market is key. If you don't know who you're selling to, if you don't know who you are, offering your products to or your service, then how are you going to be successful? So you have to do your homework. You have to lay the foundation. So definitely join us. It is a free virtual event. You can go to phillywnc.org/upcoming events, or you can just go to phillywnc.org. Click on the events tab and you'll be able to see. We also have another event that's coming up on June 16th by PWNC Foundation, our nonprofit as well. Fran McNeil. Fran is the Education Services Director at Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program at the Community College of Philadelphia. She is going to be coming on Wednesday, June 16th, 7 in the evening to 8 p.m. for all of you that work, moms, it'll give you this time to sit down for an hour and get some great content. The cost of that is $10. That price goes towards our foundation to help the women in our organization. And she's going to be talking about 7 questions to improve your business sanity. So if you're dealing with stress, if you're not sleeping right, you want more clarity in your business, she's going to give you 7 tips. And it's going to be interactive, so you'll have the opportunity to ask her some questions as well. And last but not least, also at the end of this month, June 30th to July 1st, there is going to be Social Media Day in Philadelphia. This is great if you are in a university or if you're in a college, you want to tell your students about this. This is wonderful. It's a 2-day event. The students will be able to come, everyone will be able to come. They'll be able to hear people from like Google and IBM and Twitter and all these top organizations that are doing media, social media, giving you tips and everything. Also, there's going to be one day, I'm not sure if it's the 30th or July 1st, where the Navy Yard, we're going to be having a meet and greet down at the Navy Yard. And there you'll be able to get food and drinks and network and everything. So it's going to be really nice. I hope you guys will be able to come out. The cost of that is $50. Again, you can go to phillywnc.org on our events and see everything that's going on. So Dr. Jones, I will be right back. I'm going to go say goodbye to my guests.
Okay.
Thank you. Microphone. Oh, there we go. Thank you again, everyone, for coming. So please make sure you stay hydrated today. Make sure you stay cool. Take it easy. All those good things like that. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Make sure you come back next Tuesday at 12:30 on Unapologetically Me. I am, again, your host, Felicia Shankin. We had a great show today. So I hope you guys got some great information, some great tips and tools from Dr. Jones, and make sure that you guys reach out to him. He has a lot to offer, and he's a great person to have in your network. So everybody have a great day. Bye-bye now.